thank you very much, all of you, for coming here today. Many people do that Thank you very much for being here with us today. All of us, because this is, last week, the 8th was International Women's Day. This is International Women's Month, March is. So we also thought that we should not forget our sisters, the women and the children and the girls of West Papua. So I just read out a brief statement, but it's supposed to be brief, just to say what is happening with them in terms of violence against women and so on. We must continue to make a stand against violence inflicted on the people of West Papua by the Indonesian Defense Forces and demand for the country's freedom from Indonesia. We have a movement all over the Pacific. We have a movement here in Fiji to asking for self-determination for the people of West Papua, for all the atrocities and so on to cease in West Papua, and West Papuans to rule themselves, and for Indonesia to get out of there. We also call for regional and international solidarity for the women of West Papua. In times of crisis, women and children are the worst affected, as we all know. In West Papua, things are going to go worse because Indonesia has now, using COVID-19 as an excuse, as many bad countries do, countries that do not practice democracy, human rights, and so on, they have imposed martial law. So it's going to get worse for the people. It will also get worse for the women and children, particularly because they are the worst impacted. This has actively demonstrated a surge in violence within homes and violence perpetrated by the state. A survey conducted between 2013 and 2017 by the Papuan Women's Working Group, together with Asia Justice Rights, found out that 4 out of West Papuan women have been subjected to state violence. That means state violence by the Indonesian forces and government. Another research report published by a group of Papuan women shows that stories and struggles of women are often silenced in West Papua. The report stated that West Papua women have experienced rape and sexual abuse in detention, in the grasslands while seeking refuge, and everywhere when army and police have conducted operations in the name of security. Violence such as sexual torture, sexual slavery, sexual exploitation, rape, attempted rape, forced birth control and abortions, displacement and starvation, shooting, arbitrary detention, and forced disappearance were examples of violence committed against women documented in the report Enough is Enough, Testimonies of Papuan Women Victims of Violence and Human Rights Violations, 1963 to 2009. And this also, recent reports coming out of West Papua from activists and so on also show us that these atrocities continue to be so in there. The West Papuan Women's Movement is also part of the Pacific Women's Network Against Violence Against Women. So today we remember them. All of them, we think of them. I'd ask for a minute's silence from all of us just to think about what they are going. We are going through tough times too. There's a high rate of violence in our country. But in West Papua, it's an ongoing struggle. It's further exacerbated by the Indonesian government, the Indonesian security forces. So it's an ongoing struggle from them, a lot of risk, a lot of danger, and very little, if any, recourse to justice and to use of the law to access justice. We talk about access to justice here, we do something about it. But in West Papua, they have very little, if any, of that. So today I just ask for all of us for a minute of silence to say a little prayer and think about those women also. Okay, and we give a big clap as we unfurl and we put up the West Papuan flag, bleeding red and black today. Today is West Papua Day. We remember all the women, the people, the girls and the children of West Papua. Papua! 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 Independence to the West Papuan people! Yes! Papua! Merdeka! So I will now call upon anyone here who would like to say a few words. Any of the other organizations that have come.
I think I stand in solidarity with the Crisis Center, as well as remembering the women of West Papua. We were just celebrating International Women's Day last week, and I think when we hear messages that have been shared on the day, the main message is we are not free unless everyone is free. And the women of West Papua have faced years and years of violence, of rape, of being victimized. And so we also join the global movement and also in solidarity with movements around the world, but also in solidarity with the women of West Papua, knowing that because they live in such an oppressed state, they live in such an oppressed situation, their voices are still being heard, and that is what we're here doing. We're amplifying their voices through the movements in our different spaces. So whether you're here or wherever you are, know that we're not all free unless everyone is free. And we stand and we speak against, we're not going to be bystanders. We speak against any oppression, any violence, any victimization of women across the board, but also today, especially for the women of West Papua. That's all. Anyone else? All good? Yeah? Up there? Okay. So thank you again, all of us, for all of our gatherings and so on. And as we go, one more time, can someone take up the chant? Call Stephanie. Papua!
Merdeka!
Papua!
Merdeka!
Merdeka!
Papua!
Merdeka!
Papua!
Let's make some noise for them! Okay, thank you very much, peoples. Right here.